Let's kick it.
What is personal branding? Is it our digital reputation? What does it mean to have a strong personal brand?
Dr. Nat, I want to do something that makes my brand totally stand out.
Is it based on how we look? I hope not. Seriously? Let's ask an expert these questions. Shall we?
What further questions do you have? Don't be shy, comment below and we take it from there.
What is personal branding? LinkedIn Live with Dr. Natalia Wiechowski, Saturday, 15th of May, 10 a.m. Central European Time.
Yes, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a massive privilege to introduce you to the unicorn of LinkedIn, one of the, yes, here we go. The unicorn of LinkedIn, one of my favorite personal brand specialists on LinkedIn. I've always, as soon as I saw you on LinkedIn, I saw your, visuals, your brand, the way you speak, the way you teach people. I was like, wow. And that's something that I always wanted to. I've got this little thing that I wanted to interview people, and this is my little bit a journalist thing inside of me. And when I saw you first time, I was like, yeah, I would love to have some big names on LinkedIn. And as I said, I sent you some messages, and you're like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, wow, this is happening. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Dr. Natalia Wiechowski. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming. Some of the people don't know you, so they might know you from Poland. So I would like to, if you can just introduce yourself. Yeah.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, Łukasz. I'm really looking forward to our conversation and share whatever people want to know. And for everybody who sees my face for the first time and wonders, who's that woman? I always love to introduce myself as a flawsome human being or as a flawsome edutainer. What does that mean? I think in our society, the one that we've created, we tend to strive for perfection and everything needs to be so accurate and so perfect. And I think that creates a lot of pressure. So allowing myself to also show my true or authentic version of myself to the extent that I'm aware of it, right? It's a journey, self-awareness, self-development is a journey. This is something that if we all did that a little bit more, life would be so much easier and we would be so much nicer to ourselves and other people. So I realized, if I own my mistakes and my shadow side, my, how you want to call it, the things that are not so nice, my mistakes, my flaws, and would still like and love and accept myself, then I would be flawsome, full of flaws and nevertheless awesome. And I turned into that person. So human being, because nowadays a lot of people, they look at the fancy title first on your name tag or whatever, and then they have a certain image of you. They put you in a certain box. So by saying, I'm a human being, I take away the pressure. I have no expectations. Just through flawsome, you realize she's already a bit cuckoo in her head. That's enough of a first impression that I want to share. And if it's not human being, edutainer, so what do I do? My job is it to take knowledge, some people would call it wisdom, some people would call it truth, and to package it in a fun, in a digestible way, using things like humor, storytelling, dance, maybe soon, I don't know, or other pieces of art, and packaging that and share that with the world. This is why I'm here, and at the moment, for this phase of my life, I do that as somebody who teaches people the art of personal branding, of marketing yourself, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, because I believe that this is the most powerful tool or platform at the moment to be seen, to help others to make an impact, but also to generate leads and to get the clients that you can have and that you deserve.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. Yes, as you said, this is great, like connection between words, as you said, like flawless, edutaining, that entertaining, which translates into edutaining because you educate people, right? You entertain people. So this is a great mix of that word together. Let's just let's just have a quick shout out to people that are already with us. Sebastian, Andrzej, Justyna, and Sławka, thank you very much for coming. It's Saturday, 10 a.m. We're having a live show with Natalia Wiechowski. Okay, so I have prepared some of questions, and I hope you don't take me for a stalker, but I went through your history on posting history on LinkedIn for the last 3 months yesterday, and just to get a bit more knowledge as well, and get to prepare with some questions as well. And what got me as well in the first impression when I saw you, and then obviously over the years as you're on LinkedIn, you're very consistent. You have your, I'd say, strong personal brand, right? You have your own colors, own style. You don't only put out pictures or anything like that, like it's only related to business, but also to life, which is like, sort of like you're making yourself, like, as you said, a bit more human, right? Because there are loads of people who just like, talking about business all the time, but you also give a lot of, from your own experience when it comes to life. And this is very inspiring. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, first of all, for gifting me with your time and going through my posts over the last 3 months. It must have costed you, or you invested quite some time and energy into that. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it, because that's time that you chose to spend with me or with the work or art or whatever I've created. So thanks for that.
No problem. In the beginning as well, because we've just gone through 7 minutes, big congratulations to hitting 100,000 followers, which was like 3 weeks ago. And now you've got like, 1,100 to 4,000, something like that. So you got like 3 weeks time, 4,000 people. It's amazing. And then obviously congratulations to your anniversary, which I remember is 6 years with Think Natalia. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks again. Yeah. Some big milestones here over the last month or so.
Must have been busy, huh?
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, it's good. It's good though. I'm working very closely with a performance and well-being coach at the moment to really get to the gist or to the core of what I want to do with my business, because I'm totally out of, like, I don't perceive myself as a startup anymore. We're slowly but surely getting into a mature phase. And now the big question is, do I want to scale and make it bigger, or do I want to fine tune, or do I want to do something different? So these are the questions that I ask myself at the moment. So now we're all about really, really understanding what it is that I want to do with my business, and what it is that I want to do, that my soul wants to do, assuming that there's a split, and that I am doing what I love on LinkedIn with personal branding, LinkedIn marketing, social selling, which is amazing. This is what people really need when it comes to their business. It's fun. And part of me feels as if she doesn't express herself to the depth of her core or soul or whatever. So I'm working on giving this a space and a time.
Right. Okay. Another shout out to people coming in. It's really nice to have people coming in on Saturday.
Thanks.
So thank you very much again for Sylwia Czarnecka, Sylwia Vogel, Agnieszka, Grzegorz, Magdalena, Andrzej, Magdalena, Maciej. Oh my God, so many people. I didn't expect that. So anyway, thank you very much for coming. So let's start with questions first. But my first question is going to be out of these questions that I've got prepared. But because I remember we had a conversation some time ago as you visited Poland for, I think, 2 or 3 occasions in Warsaw, and then LinkedIn local in Gdańsk, which I was going to attend, but couldn't make it. What's your experience on, being in Poland? How did you like the country? How did you like the events?
I think the events were phenomenal. It was heaps of fun. And my parents come from Poland. So my mom comes from Giżycko, and my dad originally from Zielona Góra, but he lived a lot in Warsaw. and he's now back to Zielona Góra. So for me, it feels like home. Like my heart is split between Poland and Germany because I feel like both. Like I'm not like I'm a German or I am Polish or I am, I don't know, I live now 13 years in the UAE, saying I am UAE, I'm connected to the UAE. For me, these are just labels. And I see the beauty of all the three countries, and I feel home in all the three of them by now.
Yeah, they say that home is where you live, home is where your family is, or home is where you feel like you're in home. Something
Exactly,
like that. So,
exactly.
Yeah, anyway, okay, so
Andrzej was in Gdańsk. Hey, Andrzej.
Yeah, Andrzej, yeah, hello. Okay, basic question, which is very confusing to some of people. Personal branding, what's that? What that really is? How would you define it?
I think most quoted idea comes from Jeff Bezos, which states that your personal brand or your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Okay. And then there is a quote by Seth Godin, which is very long, and I can't remember it. I should learn it by heart because I refer to it so often and I butcher it all the time. The basic idea is that your brand is a mix of things like your story, what you stand for, what you believe in, the whole experience of you, which has an impact on the question if potential clients or clients are going to buy from you one day. So it's like, this is the core idea from Seth Godin. So if I break that down and put that even deeper and apply it to our situation, LinkedIn, whatever, I believe that it is the way how you walk, talk, speak, your colors, your content, your vibe, your energy, your clients, your everything. And how people perceive you, how people talk about you, what they say about you, how they experience you. And yes, you can steer that and adjust it, because what do we learn here? You have a personal brand. If you like it or not, you have one. Some people also call personal branding a communications tool, self-communications tool, a career insurance. Some people talk about impression management. That's also a way how to look at it. So I want to make sure that people really deeply understand that it's not a question of, oh, I don't have a personal brand or branding, I don't need that. You have one because you cannot not communicate, as Paul Václavic said. Everything that we do is communication. Okay, once we know that, fine. What do we do next? So option number one, we turn into the passive victims of the impressions of what others say, how they perceive us, how they talk about us. Or we take the reins of leadership back into our hands and say, okay, now as I know that this exists, what are my goals? What is it I truly want to achieve for myself, for society? And how can I adjust, polish, steer the impressions of my brand so they are aligned with my targets, so I can become of a bigger value, or I can contribute more to society, achieve my financial goals, my spiritual goals, my religious goals, my personal goals, whatever goals these are. So see it as an opportunity to help you to get to where you want to be.
So is it something as well like your digital reputation?
Yeah, but it's not only digital. It is beyond that. It's online and it's offline. And I believe that reputation is very often just the external image. I believe that with personal branding, you can actually also steer it, and you become the most authentic or the most powerful when you make it a self-development journey from the inside out that goes from offline to online. And all of these aspects need to be congruent. Like the worst mistake that I sometimes see people do, they create this amazing online persona, like, oh, so fancy, so smart, so intelligent, so powerful, so balanced. And then you meet them in, like, I don't know, when you're shopping, at a stage, a conference, whatever, and you're like, who the got you, because you're definitely not the person that you're portraying up there. This is a problem, and this is what I don't want people to do.
That's why when that's why people put out videos, so you can just like feel them, because videos don't lie, right? Videos don't lie. Of course, if you're a good actor, you can just pretend that you are whatever you want to be. But just referring to my last live, because I saw you on videos, right? So I knew straight away as well how you react, how you put out yourself out there, how I saw your videos, I saw your pictures, I saw your brand. I knew that would be a lot of fun, a lot of smiling, a lot of positive energy. So I remember when I spoke to the previous my guest, we also had this. I saw him first on videos, and this is where the barrier comes off. You know that person, and it's easier, to chat. And you can obviously, as you said, you can pretend who you are, but when you see someone offline, and there is a big difference between what you put out and who you really are, it's just like it crashes all your image. So yeah, it's very important to be authentic. And we come to another question, which is strategy, because you said when you have a personal brand, right, you've got your goals to achieve, you set up some goals, you set up some things you want to achieve and things like that. Strategy, does strategy matter?
Yes, strategy does matter, and implementing the strategy is even more important. You won't believe how often I nowadays, not in the past, do just because I feel like it, or just because I think, yeah, that would be a good thing to do. Especially because I work with people from the US, Canada, Germany, Sweden, Poland, Ukraine, the UAE, Russia, like literally people from almost everywhere. And I have the feeling, especially when I work with Germans, and this might be just totally wrong, my own perception, my own ignorance, that we Germans tend to be incredibly good at thinking and at strategizing. And we tend to kind of almost romanticize or fantasize or eroticize strategy. It needs to be perfect on paper. It all needs to make sense. And the challenge that I see in there, although it has a beauty and it's amazing, and especially when you are that 1% person, like, and the 1% needs to be right, fantastic. The challenge that I see here is that you are wasting time or losing time, losing money, losing potential customers, because you wait for this last 10% or 5 or 1 or whatever before you get out there. So my call to action is, yes, have a strategy, think about it, sit on it, give yourself a deadline, and then get out there. When you have 75%, 80%, start implementing it. Don't wait for the last 20%, because there's also a big difference between what you strategized and then there's real life. Because strategy is in a naked, sterile, almost lab-like environment. You don't have external influences like your mood, your energy, people, economy, I don't know, a sick child, a barking dog, something that annoys you on the balcony that will have an impact on everything. So take it out of the sterile lab situation, throw it out there into real life, whatever that means. And very likely you have to adjust things anyway, although you made it perfect in your head. And sometimes you learn about the last 5%, or the last 10 or 2 or whatever the percentage is, when you're out there in the field, playing with it, testing it. So have the strategy, but then get it out there and implement it, test it, and have the courage to adjust it, and have the courage to say, I was wrong. It's different in real life.
That's true, because I watched some regarding strategy. When you got no strategy, you're just going like, blind, right? You don't know where you're going, and you don't know what's working and what's not working. And as you said, it takes a lot of power as well to admit, yeah, you are wrong. We go in different direction. We, as you said, adjust some things, right? Because it might look nice on paper, right? But then as you go in, as you go in live with something and you see things, not going the right way, you've got to steer left or right, or, as you said, adjust it. So strategy matters. Shout out to Dr. Kaśka Krawczyk. Łukasz Jędraszczyk says, good morning. Great guy, great friend. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, so I've come up with something as well, which some people asked me that there is an expert and personal brand, right? Because in some industries, people don't say, oh, he has a strong personal brand, so I'm going to see him. They say he's a great expert, right? That's the first word, or specialist or something like that. The first word that comes to their mind when they see some, like, I don't know, a videographer or anyone like that. But they don't say, oh, because he has a big, strong personal brand. So expert, personal brand, is there any difference? What's the difference between that?
I think your personal brand is the overall, as you said, it's a mix between an image and a reputation and a perception and whatever. But a personal brand could also brand itself or portray itself as a zero expert. I mean, there are some people out there who go and make it part of their persona to know crap. They're like, I'm stupid, I know shit, but I have fun along the way. And that is also a personal brand. While there are personal brands who say, go out there, say, I'm an expert, I'm the guru, the maven, the ultimate thought leader, whatever. Let me start that sentence again. I think there are certain things that sound a little bit awkward when we say them about ourselves. So when you say, I am spontaneous, cool, that works. I am a creative person, that works. I am a thoughtful person, that works. I am a romantic person, that works. There are certain things that you shouldn't, in quotation marks, say about yourself because they come off as bizarre. So classy is a thing. I'm a classy person. I'm an intelligent person. I'm an expert. It just sounds ew. So allow other people to say that about you. And why did I mention that? When it comes to these words like expert, guru, thought leader, ninja, whatever these are, don't use these words. Become so great, prove through your actions that you're really, really awesome, and then allow other people to say that about you. And then you can say, people call me a so-and-so expert. People call me a so-and-so guru or ninja. Don't give yourself that title and then ideally also speak about yourself in the third person. Dr. Natalia believes that she is a personal branding expert, Her Majesty. She also is in a very good mood today. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, something like, welcome to Look Beyond show by Lucas, and he is going to introduce you.
Exactly.
A special guest. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so this brings me to another question, which is the best platform to build and develop a personal brand, and why is it LinkedIn?
Well, it doesn't have to be LinkedIn. It really depends on your goals and on your target audience. So if you are, for example, somebody who is addressing or targeting teenagers, and you also create or offer something that is incredibly visual, then your best platform would definitely be Instagram. If you offer something related in the tech field or something related to news, something that is fast changing, to an audience that likes to write it, wants quick stuff, Twitter would be the best platform for you. If you are somebody who offers something that needs a lot of explanation, people need to see it, you need a little bit longer to explain it, and you have a diverse audience, then maybe YouTube would be the best platform. So it really depends on, number one, what are you offering? Number two, who is your target audience? And then also, number three, what kind of content do you like to create? Because if you're somebody who really likes writing and you like long text, opportunities, formats, whatever, but yeah, Instagram doesn't give you that opportunity, what could you do? So I think asking these three questions and finding a compromise or a fair balance is the healthiest approach. For me, I believe it's LinkedIn, and for many, many people that I work with, it's definitely LinkedIn, because people on LinkedIn are in a different mindset. People are on LinkedIn because they want to do business, generate leads, network, learn about the latest business trends. They want to build their brand or their personal brand, the company brand, whatever. They want to learn something new. They are in this mindset. While people on a platform like, for example, Instagram or TikTok, they are there to be or to get entertained or to get inspired. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong about it. But you need to phrase your message and you need to package and display your message in a total different way on LinkedIn in comparison to TikTok, because again, people have a different expectation. Now, the magic then lies in keeping your message and then asking yourself, how would I present it on TikTok and Instagram? How would I present it on LinkedIn? Same message, different packaging. If you can do that, then you're definitely going to be successful on both platforms or on all the platforms that you choose.
Yeah, repurposing content, right? You've got to adjust the content to the platform.
Yeah, to the culture in quotation mark, or to the vibe, or however you want to call it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I've got a question from the audience, from my friend, same name, Lucas. Natalia, what is your favorite personal brand on LinkedIn? I know it's me, but yeah, you don't need to say
exactly.
that.
I just wanted to say it's Lukas. Check him out. He's just the best. Next question.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite one, because it also massively changes depending on the journey that I'm going through, depending on the questions I have. I regularly study the content, for example, from Ahmad Imam, because he is very, very. First of all, he really found what he's passionate about. He knows, he has a sense of aesthetics. He knows how to build an audience. He truly listens. And he comes up with great ideas that inspire me to say, okay, how could I use that for myself? So he's definitely a person that I regularly study. And Gary Vaynerchuk is also always a person that I always study, because I think he has a team of, I don't know how many people working in social media. And I ask myself, okay, so what is he doing, and how do people react to that, and what is the latest trend? Because I know that he's a trend fan, let me put it that way. And I'm not interested in trends. Like, I do me. I have a look at what trends are, but very often I find them very shallow and very temporary. So I'm a person who rather looks in depth, and what is something that we had for thousands of years that we can adjust and package it in a new language or in a new way of presenting it. Because, hey, if it has been out there for thousands of years, there is immense wisdom in that. But because the language is old-fashioned, or because the examples are uncool or unsexy, people don't look at it. So I would rather see, how can I repurpose, repackage that and make old wisdom cool again. That's something that I rather look for.
Yeah, you mentioned two big names, Ahmad Imam and Gary Vaynerchuk. I know Ahmad Imam, I know Gary Vaynerchuk, but I know Ahmad Imam more, as I had this privilege as well to work with him, and he's a super guy. He's absolutely brilliant. As you said, he has this sense of aesthetics. His videos, his graphics, his messages are always inspiring. So and I saw your video together.
Yeah, exactly.
That video, I was like, oh my god, he always come up with something nice. And I saw this video with like 40 or 50 people, this rap battle or something like that. It's a music video, and there were plenty of people in there. And I saw your video together, and I was like, oh my, this is something amazing. It was wrapped up, done like, oh my, so entertaining as well. But there's a message as well coming in, from that video. So it's not only just for entertaining, because you can do things just for fun, but you, as you said, you both are edutainers. You both educate and entertain, send messages, inspire people, and this is amazing. How did you come up to work together on that video? Whose idea was that? Because it's pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, it was hilarious. I told myself maybe 3 months ago or something, I would love to do something. I would like to create something with Ahmed, but I don't know what it is. And I just placed that information, or I placed that wish, that order towards God, the universe, whatever. But I'm not a believer in forcing it. I'm not a believer in, okay, I have to call Ahmed and say we need to do something together, but I hate it when people reach out to me and say, Natalia, let's collaborate. And I'm like, yeah, so what is it exactly that you would like to collaborate on? Oh, I don't know. I just think you're amazing. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I think you're amazing too. It was your idea. So why don't you do whatever you need to do? Draw, dance, go for a hike, meditate, so that you have a little bit of a concrete idea, and then we can go and take it from there. So because I think and feel like that, I also thought I shouldn't just reach out to Ahmed saying, hey, I think you're amazing, let's do something together. I know crap. Or I would think, oh. So I was like, okay, when the time is right, something will come up. And then he had this very short text post about 5 creatures or 5 people on LinkedIn that are annoying, that everybody regularly meets. It was the troll and the creep and the salesman and whatever. And I just read that post and I commented, that screams for a parody. I don't know, I just felt it. I was like, I can see it. And he texted me back and said, let's do it. I'm like, cool. Wrote you a direct message. And then we wrote a few direct messages back and forth. We arranged a Zoom call. We brainstormed ideas. We then checked in, created a project deadline, and then again, the whole communication took place online, and came up with a concept, decided who does what, who invests what, time, creativity, money, and whatever. And yeah, I think this was done in less than a month, and it felt amazing. It was so much fun. And I mean, I read through the comments. Obviously, our audiences definitely enjoyed that.
It's amazing what people can create when they're like in totally different ends of the world, right? You can just create something like we're doing now. I'm in Poland, exactly. You're in UAE, and we're just like, talking like there's nothing, no barriers at all.
As if we'd be sitting in the same rooms. Like,
exactly.
hi.
So yeah, no delay, nothing like that. We can just see each other and talk, do business on anything like that. So internet nowadays is absolutely something like, people would not live without internet at the moment. I mean, if they all shut down, we're all like, oh my god. Oh, okay, I'm gonna start reading some books.
Exactly.
Right. Let's get to another question, which is do's and don'ts while building a personal brand, whatever that is, on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever social media. So let's make it like 5 do's and 5 don'ts, just not to exceed it too much. So your top 5 of do's.
Of do's. Start on the inside with something that a lot of people call positioning, with answering questions like, what do you do, for whom, what is the end result, when do I get the end result, why should I choose you and not your competition, How do you want to be perceived? How do you want to make people feel? What's your trademark? Things like that. So this is step number one, really get the clarity on the inside. Then choose your platform, LinkedIn or any other platform, and make sure that you build a great profile which reflects or represents that. Then work on your following or on your network. Make sure that you connect with relevant people, which is your target audience. Then create content. Stop consuming content and turn into a content creator. And the content is all about serving your audience, about adding value, about entertaining people or educating them or teaching them or making them laugh or whatever. You can't, I'll talk about that in the don'ts. So really, really give. And then lastly, also make sure that you monetize that brand and that you invite people to work with you. There's so many individuals out there that they do a great job in all the 4 steps that I just mentioned, and they're just afraid of asking for money or inviting people to work with them. And they might have a huge following or they create epic content and they don't know how to pay their bills at the end of the month or how to fill up the fridge. And this makes me sad and angry. And this is why I realized I need to teach people also how to monetize their brand. So these would be the 5 steps when it comes to do. When it comes to don'ts, don't start with selling, because when the foundation is not there, people are not going to buy from you. People buy from people that they like, know, and trust. So don't start at the end, start at the beginning. Start building relationships. And this will take some time. Be patient and give without expecting anything in return in the beginning. I know it's counterintuitive. I know that maybe certain people in your company, in your network would say, oh yeah, but how do you measure that? That's not KPI driven. No, it's not. Because building a personal brand is like, how can I say that? It's like running a marathon. It's every piece of content, every hour that you invest into it. It's like putting invisible money into a piggy bank. It's creating a digital footprint when you're working online. It's really putting in the work so that you eventually arrive. And if you know the concept of mastery, you know that you need at least 10,000 hours to be amazing at something. And this is what you're doing with your personal brand. So don't sell, but really build it. The second thing is also don't consume content all the time, but also create, which we just talked about. A lot of people, they are content consumers and they want to be a thought leader or whatever, but they don't create content, don't comment. I don't know who you are. You're not communicating with me. So how on earth do you want me to build a relationship with you? It is impossible. So start with a certain way of creating content. Another mistake that I see is, as we talked about earlier, that people try to pretend or build an online persona that has nothing to do with the real person. And that is going to hurt you in the long term, because imagine you're building this amazing brand out there and then people are excited. They want to work with you. They want to buy from you. And then when they meet you, they're like, ew, don't like your energy. You are the thing that you pretended you are. So they will want their money back. They will go out there and tell everybody he or she is a scam, fake, or something, which will hurt you massively. So make sure that the brand that you build is really authentic or real or genuine, or however you want to call that. Another don't, let me think, what else are stumbling blocks that I see here? Another don't is don't try to be everybody's darling and serving everybody and be there and nice and kind to everybody. You just can't. You need to choose your niche or your clients or your target audience. And a lot of people are not going to like it, and a lot of people are not going to like you or resonate with you. And that is okay, because it's impossible to create or to offer something for the whole world. Some people just will not need your stuff, and some people will not agree with what you say, and that's okay. You are safe. They're not going to knock at your door and kill you, find you and kill you. No, they just might not like it. And that's okay. So as a personal brand, you really need to understand that while you say I stand for this, you will automatically also stand against this. And another don't is believing one day that you're ready. No, it's a continuous journey. So what can you do to improve, to develop to a new level, to offer new services or products, to say no to certain things? What is it that you can let go of, or what can you improve? So the day you stop learning, there's just something in you that kind of dies. So keep on learning, keep on investing. And that's the only way how you can also keep the attention of people and stay connected with them, because we get bored pretty quickly. So tell me about the new developments and the new you. And I think I posted something about this 2 days ago. I introduced my audience to a new Natalia, not think Natalia, but Natalia. And they loved it. They're like, wow, so you're getting out of your head. Oh, I can see female energy. Wow, what's that hairstyle thing? Like you showing shoulder, like skin. Ooh! So yeah, that's the new me. Hi.
welcome, a new Natalia. Right. Another question then. First of all, we're going to come back to comments as well, because Lucas is asking about music. What's your most motivational song? We're going to come back to that in a minute. I just want to ask a question when it's related to building your brand as well on LinkedIn. LinkedIn connections. Hold on. I've got it somewhere here. Yeah. Should we accept? Accept all or be more selective? Because I think it was my mistake as well in the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, accept. You know, on like on a regular basis. Like, okay. He sent me an invitation. I didn't even look at who that was. I just like, okay, so I'm gonna accept it. I'm saying, oh, someone sends me an invitation. Okay, here you are. So I know it's some people do it that way, some people do it opposite. But obviously, as you chose people around you, right, in the real life, you choose people around you in your digital life. So accept all, be more selective.
Be more selective, because when people connect with you, and if they really don't care about you and what you do, you're going to pay with the reach of your content for it. What LinkedIn does is whenever you create a post, they take a random selection of the people that you're connected with, just whatever. And it's approximately 3 to 6% of the people that you connected with. And it shows them your post. And if the person that you accepted into your network doesn't know who you are, what you do, doesn't give a, then they will not engage with your content, which means they're telling the algorithm, I don't care. And the algorithm then says, oh, that means that's crap content. Oh, that means I'm not going to show it to more people. That means I'm not going to send it to the next round. So this is how people believe, and that's what they do wrong. They're building this huge followings, but what they post, nobody gives up. And that's a problem, because again, you're not getting the visibility. You're not sharing your message with a relevant audience. So that's why I would create a set of rules for yourself when it comes to connections, and ask yourself, the person that connects with me, is that a potential client, old client, potential friend, potential mentor, potential collaboration partner, somebody that I look up to, somebody that I want to have a phone call with, somebody that I would actually like and meet for coffee and cake? And if the answer is yes, awesome. And if you already look at the picture and say, who are you? What do you want? I don't like your vibe, then just ignore it. And I mean, some people create the rule, for example, they don't accept any kind of connection request without a personal text. Some people create the rule, I don't accept anybody who has no picture. Some people say they don't accept people who the first sentence in their header is, I'm looking for any job. Understandable, because the next thing, what happens when you accept a connection like this is, sir, I need a job. That's at least in my case. For some reason, it's always sir. I think this should actually show that I'm not a sir, but whatever. This goes into the wrong direction.
Definitely a woman, definitely. As I said, a unicorn. Yeah, and I've got the same. I had the same problem in the beginning when people just like, especially those with Bitcoin investing, trading stuff. As soon as you accepted the connection, is like, hello, my friend, would you like to make some money? You want to invest, and and you're like, I don't know him.
No,
Why would I?
Value dumping.
Exactly. Yeah. Why would I just give money to someone I don't even I see for the first time? I don't know who that is. So yeah. So let's come back to the question, to a music question, which is Lucas is asking about music, and what is your most motivational song?
Oof. Again, I think it's like with books or with people that I follow, or movies or documentaries that I watch. There doesn't exist. There are way too many exciting things out there. So I really go with what is it that I feel like at the moment. And it's more a question of vibration or energy level. What is it that I want to hear? I make sure that when I listen to music, that the song text is not repeating wrong beliefs. So because I do believe when, like, a lot of pop music primarily, also some rap.
Eminem.
Yeah, but he has a story to tell. He has a message in there. That's amazing. But some artists, in quotation marks, they in their songs they repeat wrong beliefs, and they spread lies. They spread an untruth. And by singing that song, I kind of hammer that into my subconsciousness, which then creates like stuff in my life that I don't want. So I make sure that if somebody sings or says something, that what he or she actually sings, raps, whatever, is aligned with my values and with my belief system. That's why I, for example, stopped listening to the radio. Because when I hear stuff like, yo, kill all them or something, I'm like, no, I think them should be alive. Or it's like, oh, I don't need the money, I just live from love. No, love is beautiful, money is beautiful. So I'm not going to sing that or listen to that. This is poison. This is stuff that I just put away.
So what you feed inside here is what you then become as well, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Just a notice to all the people that here, we've got another 8 to 9 minutes, so we'll come back to questions now. So Natalia, a question from Dr. Kasia Krawczyk. What are your dreams? I bet that it's about your goals or something like that, or someone said dream big. Yeah, so dream big. What's your dreams then?
My dream is to have a beautiful plot of land somewhere very close to the ocean, a plot of land where I have my own garden, where I harvest my tomatoes, and I have an apple tree, and I have my own herbs.
And you have some unicorns, yeah?
And unicorns, exactly. Every now and then the unicorns come by. Yeah. And a dog, like a real dog, not something that you can put into your handbag, but like a real dog.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 Yorkies, right? So
it's okay, like everybody whatever they want, but I want like a dog.
Yeah,
like a big one. A dog that reminds me, for the case that I'm not mindful, that reminds me of the beauty of life and being alive and being happy for no reason, because I think dogs are so connected to joy, and like they just mirror you. They just show they're happy for no reason. I'm like, nice reminder. So that's what I want. And I want I'm in the process of it, to design a life that allows me to create more magic or art, or however you want to call it, not connected to the strings or to the barriers of having to be profitable or having to monetize that. I want to create it in a free space just for the sense of it, for the love of it. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. So I have my business, I have my achieving things, go out there, wow, help people, do the money, like all of this. But also another aspect, which is about being in the flow and creating something that is, that has a very, very deep message and that touches us, like not only our minds, but also our hearts. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Hey.
this is my, I call her a daughter because we took her from England. So she's a proper from England. This is Mia.
Oh, hi, Mia.
She's like, when we leave her for like 1 minute at home, she's going mad. She's going crazy. So she's she loves us with unconditional love, such a strong one that you can. It's almost like a psycho, you know what I mean? It's like, okay,
yeah, this is so beautiful. Like,
yeah, you come back home and she's like,
dog, like, hey,
yeah,
it's like other women when they see a baby, they're like, ha. I'm like, a baby. But when somebody has a dog, I'm like, oh my god, there's a dog. I'm like, what the fuck happened with you? I'm like, there's a dog.
Yeah. Okay, then we've got a last question. We've got some time for last question, and the question is, what do you think about the opinion that LinkedIn became something like Facebook because all of the private and non-professional posts and content? So people put out privates, people put out some pictures and stuff like that. So what does it make LinkedIn similar to Facebook, and other way around? But yeah, people say LinkedIn is going Facebook-ish.
People who say that usually like to or tend to complain without finding a solution. They're like, that's crap. I don't like this. This is bad. Bah! I'm like, okay, well, what can we do now to make it better? And then they're suddenly out of the conversation. I'm like, interesting. So that's the first thing. Don't focus your energy on stuff you can't control. If you don't like it, change it. If you can't change it, either accept it or off, like go to another platform. This is, because everything else just drives you mad. So these are the options. Then professional is a very difficult term. I once created a post, don't ask me, 3 years ago, and I said, I'm confused. What does professional actually mean? And I had over 300 or 500 people commenting. And I think from these, let's say it was 300 comments, I most probably got 290 different answers. So what is the lesson learned here? Professional is so dependent on your gender, on your culture, on your industry, on your brand, on whatever. So then as saying what is professional, what is not professional, it's very difficult to distinguish because what is professional to me might not be professional for you. There are, for example, people who say, oh, you cannot post a cat video on LinkedIn. That's crap. But I'm like, yeah, but that person actually...
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
So going back to the cat videos, if you are selling cat food, of course you can publish cat videos because it's all about content. Or then some people say, but yeah, you can't be funny and dance on LinkedIn. I'm like, she is a professional comedian. That is how she makes money. That is professional. So also there are certain things that we judge too harsh and too much. And, people also, what's private or personal to one person is not private to the other one. So what's the bottom line here? Like, even if you created rules on LinkedIn, what to post and not to post, everybody will interpret it in a different way. So you, with your content, give your best to post what you want to see more of on LinkedIn, and just unfollow those people that you don't want to see and take it from there. I think that's the healthiest way how to deal with that.
Okay. Let's wrap it up with with a line that I love from Gary Vaynerchuk. Perspective, right? It's all about perspective. Okay, so we've reached our time mark. Natalia, it's been a massive pleasure. thank you very much for coming. Thank you for I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you for the time, for your time to come here to speak to me, to our Polish audience. And what can I say? Keep up your good work. Just keep up with your unicorn style, with your personal brand. I wish you all the best. And then obviously I'll find you somewhere on LinkedIn as well, in the comments, in the feed. And thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure. And if you, the audience, still have any questions, anything that we didn't get the chance to answer, send it to me as a direct message, and then we're going to create some content out of that.
Thank you very much for that. I will definitely, because we've got some 2 or 3 questions, so I'm going to send it to you. Thank you very much again. It was a very positive and great live. And what can I say? A pleasure. Pleasure to have you here.
Likewise.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.